If you're a small business and you're trying to get out there and you're trying to get more people to know about you, then the more places you're found, the better it is for you.
It's the new audience. Yeah, the word new audience, that's huge, because there's a huge discussion about how the same people are using the same platform. So whether it's the search engine to the social media platforms, they're the same people, right? Yeah. But this new network that the Microsoft advertising platform can introduce business owners to, I think that's the most powerful part.
Yeah,
the quality of lead is actually at a higher level than other platforms, which is mind-blowing.
Our largest age group demographically is 25 to 54. So it's not grandma and grandpa sitting at home on their computer trying to figure out how to, order their shopping online or whatever. It is the people with the money to spend.
Come on, give me the intro, man. Start. Forget about your intro. Just fuck the intros, fuck everything.
Surviving the digital jungle is tough. We're here to guide you through it on the Digital Jungle Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to our podcast. Today we have some very special guests in the building. We have Microsoft here today, and we've got some representatives here. We've got Renee and Paul from Microsoft here to have a bit of a chat. And we're going to ask them some questions about them personally, about the Microsoft network. So we've got Renee and we've got Paul. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Really, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and have a chat with us.
Thank you for having us. Great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Well, look, to kickstart, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get to know you guys, or get our listeners to get to know you guys a little bit on a personal level. So tell us a bit about yourselves, about a little bit about your career, and sort of what makes you tick. So Renee, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Renee Stops, and I have been at Microsoft 4.5 years now. Love working for Microsoft. I'm the sales director across the partner business, which obviously you are one of our elite partners.
Yes.
I'm very excited to be here today. I'm a mum of 2 boys. They keep me very busy, 8 and 6. I've been married to my husband 13 years, so very long time. Doesn't show my age though. And I think outside of, working for an amazing company like Microsoft and getting to spend some time with, quality partners like yourself, I am a avid fitness and health love anything to do with well-being, keeping fit, eating healthy, and actually have a master's in PT and nutrition. So that's my side. Don't have a business, but I just really love, learning and in that area. So
tell you what, Renee, you are a superwoman, juggling all of those sort of things. And Paul, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, for sure. So name's Paul Korber. So I take care of the channel partner reseller segment for Australia and New Zealand, working closely with Renee. So been in digital advertising about 15 years. So I sort of started my journey actually working for a similar company to yours, a big Google reseller at the time. And then over the years progressed through some different technology companies in advertising. And 3 years ago, moved over to Microsoft to do this role, which is, really exciting. And I think in my first week, Kanan, I think we even met. Or we had a call, I think. Yeah, first week. So I think you guys made a big impression upon me, definitely.
I tell you, I remember that meeting. Honestly, I'm not going to piss in your pocket, but you're a breath of fresh air. When we first met you, you're a go-getter, and I tell you what, a lot of the success in the channel partner sort of bubble in Microsoft, mate. Hats off to you, mate. I'm pretty sure you've had a big part to play there.
Thank you. We love working with you. And I'll come on to more about that success in a minute. But a bit about me personally, I've got 2 young kids, been married for about 10 years. So they keep us busy, and kind of similar to Renee, and like keeping fit, gym, kayaking is my new thing. So I said like a kayaking on the hub every weekend. It's awesome just to get out there early in the morning. And I love cooking as well. That's kind of my passion really. But
awesome.
But wanted to congratulate you guys because you were recently upgraded to become an elite, channel partner.
Yes,
so that's
thank you.
Awesome win. And secondly, even bigger news, just last week, taking out channel partner of the year. for AIPAC. So,
Yes, thank you very much,
yeah,
guys.
well deserved. Tell us,
Really, really appreciate it. Honestly, it was such an amazing feeling. It really sent a fantastic vibe throughout the entire company. We all tuned in at 2 p.m. for this virtual presentation or ceremony. It was awesome. So feedback from our end that event was very well put together. But we're super proud of the result. It's been a journey with you guys and working in conjunction and hand in hand. It's been awesome, but you guys have been awesome to support us. So thank you to both of you. You guys have been amazing help in allowing us to scale the Bing side of our business.
A pleasure and well deserved.
Yeah, very
Awesome.
well deserved.
Well, guys, look, what I want to do, I want to get stuck into it. I've got a few questions because this next question. In around 2019, there was a shift where you moved from promoting the word Bing as the search engine or Bing as the search engine, and you moved to sort of maybe moving it to the Microsoft brand. And I wanted to get to understand your perspective on or how you guys viewed that at that particular stage.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that one.
Awesome.
So I guess from the brand change perspective, we are owned by Microsoft, and Bing is a very well-known global brand from a search engine perspective. However, what we did in 2019 is we were thinking about the future and what the progress of Bing is going to be. And that's when we changed the name from Bing Ads to Microsoft Advertising as our name change. And we've become more integrated into the Microsoft ecosystem. And what I mean by that is that Microsoft Search isn't just about bing.com or bing.com.au, is that everywhere you search within the Microsoft ecosystem on Word, Excel, Cortana, even in the search bar of your homepage, it's all powered by Microsoft Search, previously Bing. So, that we really changed the name to think about the future of where we were going as an organization and where we were going as a business. And we're not just about the search page anymore. We're also talking about our audience network and other products that we're looking to roll out in the future.
So can I ask you, in your opinion, that change,
Yeah.
was it a good change? Because it makes so much sense, to be honest with you, because you've got to subconsciously get the mind to think a little bit differently here.
Yeah. And I personally think it was a great change. Being in Australia isn't as well known as being in the UK or being in the US due to their market share. We haven't really been around as long as. However, when you really think about the Microsoft brand, Microsoft is a brand everyone knows and trusts. It's a trusted brand. It's a global brand that's been around for a long, long time, decades. And to be associated with a brand like Microsoft is something that we're really, really proud of within the advertising business. So
I agree 100%. Yeah. I'd say the brand Microsoft is synonymous with computer.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Technology.
Exactly.
So when you want to associate the Bing search engine, with the Microsoft brand, I think it really elevates it so much more in terms of the quality and the recognition.
Yeah. And another thing or spin maybe is that for a small business, because a lot of your customers, obviously the smaller type of businesses, is that with the Bing recognition, everyone knows who Microsoft is. So to tell a small business, by the way, they've got an advertising business as well.
Yeah.
And that's Microsoft Bing is a part of that.
Absolutely. I think immediately the trust is gained with the Microsoft brand and the interest is sparked.
Yeah.
Straight away. So I really, to be honest with you, as an agency, from our perspective, it really assisted us when you really shifted the focus to Microsoft. So awesome stuff there. So this leads me to my next question. It's a perfect segue. So the Microsoft brand has two segments, let's say. We've got the Microsoft Audience Network and then we've got the Microsoft Search Network, right? Yep. And it's huge. And I think just if we can put some perspective and give our listeners some understanding about this network and how big it is. Yeah, would love to get your insights on that.
Yeah, for sure. No, and it's one of those topics that I think does require some some clarification. So Microsoft Bing is just a part of the Microsoft Search Network. So in essence, we have a notion of what we call our owned and operated network. And so within that is Microsoft Bing. We also have Verizon Properties, Yahoo, and AOL. So jointly they make up our Microsoft Search Network. So in Australia, that represents currently around 17% of PC share. So it really has significant growth. We've seen that grow, I think, by at least 5 points in the past sort of 5 years. So we've also, as a part of that, we've also got the notion of that search is not just about a destination. So with that, we've got the Microsoft ecosystem, which is, is vast. And, to give you an example, Windows 10 is now on 1 billion devices globally. So when you think about that, there are these, Windows 10 has the default engine as Microsoft Bing. So that is a huge area of growth and how it's become so big. The other one is Microsoft Edge, our browser, which was relaunched in January 2020. And within 48 hours had 1 million downloads. When you couple that with Windows 10, so that is now being deployed as an upgrade on all Windows devices. Edge defaults to Microsoft Bing. Yep. You start to get a sense of the impact and why those market shares are at the level that we're seeing currently today.
Those numbers are staggering.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, there is also a thing that people might not know is that we power 6 of the main 7 search engines as well. And a big part of that is our Microsoft partner network. So this includes sites such as DuckDuckGo and Ecosia, which have got a bit of coverage recently. Yeah. And these are search engines that are effectively powered by Microsoft. So when you go there to these search engines, the results you see are powered by Microsoft in essence. So that would mean your advertisers, if you opt into the network, their ads could appear, on sites like that as well, giving you and the customers a broader reach.
And they're just part of our partners. They're our bigger partners, in inverted commas, well-known partners that we partner with. But we have a huge, network, our syndication network that, as Paul was saying, when you buy your ad on Bing, you're not just buying an ad on Bing, you're being covered, out of the 7 main search engines, one we won't name, but, out of the other 6 are powered by us. And then we also have a wider syndication network that you're also appearing on as well, which are some of our greatest partners too. So
yeah, I think that's super interesting because I know a lot of our listeners won't be aware of that. And I think bringing some attention and spotlight to that is really important. I know as digital marketers, we would know, I would say, a little bit of what you guys just explained. Yeah. But to the depth of what you just explained, that's phenomenal. And embedding it into the way people use their devices, like leveraging the Microsoft assets, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. And I think it's even more important for SMBs to be aware of this, right? If you're a small business and you're trying to get out there and you're trying to get more people to know about you, then the more places you're found, the better it is for you as a small business. So
I'll tell you something that you guys mentioned, which is actually probably the thing that light bulb, like in my mind, it's the new audience. The word new audience, that's huge because there's a huge discussion about how the same people are using the same platform. So whether it's the search engine to the social media platforms, they're the same people, right? Yeah. But this new network that the Microsoft advertising platform can introduce business owners to, I think that's the most powerful part.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys agree in that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we say it's a customer that you're possibly not reaching if you're not advertising on Microsoft advertising search and audience as part of that.
If you think about it, in a room of 100 people, if we put a wall up of 17 people of those, and you're a new business and you're trying to hand out business cards, you're going to do everything you can to get that business card through that wall, right? That's 17 people that are missing out, that you're missing out of. What if one of those people, is a $5,000 customer and your average sales $100? Like, you do anything to get that. So it's definitely, reflective of what Paul just said. It's a network that, we start to ask the question to clients, can you afford to not be there? Not can you afford to be there? Can you afford not to be there?
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think if you put things in perspective, and let's say we're talking about the 17%, and if you talk about your advertising budget, to allocate 17% to a new audience, it's definitely affordable. And you don't want to be missing out on this new audience because it's valuable to the end game.
Yeah.
To ensure you're marketed across all platforms is a number one rule within our agency. Get out there wherever you possibly can.
Yeah.
In doing our extensive research, in using your product line, we noticed that the users that are using your network they're quite unique. And I really wanted you guys to sort of shed some light into the type of demographic that are using, because there are stigmas, and I think you guys can add to that. But yeah, shed some light about the demographic, the type of users that are using your current network.
Yeah, sure. So from a stigma perspective, I have spent my whole career in digital marketing as well. Also started similar to Paul at a channel partner like yourself. And there is a big stigma around who people that use Bing, is your grandma or your grandpa sitting on their desktop at home trying to figure out how to surf the web. However, we actually, from a data perspective and who we use to I guess collate our data, we use third-party research data through Comscore, so it's not our own. So therefore, we're not coming out telling you this is what we are. This is an independent research provider that is providing this data. So we know that 50% are male, 50% are female. We have a higher disposable income. Over, I can't remember the percentage off the top of my head, but I think it's around 70% have an education degree, a degree through college or, university. And surprisingly to many people, and, hand on heart, it surprised me when I joined the business, our largest age group demographically is 25 to 54. So it's not grandma and grandpa sitting at home on their computer trying to figure out how to, order their shopping online or whatever. It is the people with the money to spend. And I think that's key here, right? We want you as a business owner, you want that age because you know that they've got the money to spend on your product.
100%. Yeah. And I tell you what, thank you for busting that myth. That's number one. Number two, in terms of the age demographic, that's super interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because I tell you what, if you didn't shed some light there, the assumption would be that it is the older age bracket.
Yeah.
Would you say the Xbox brand or something along those lines would have had something to play there?
I haven't seen any research to suggest that, but I think it depends on a lot of things. Microsoft has done a really great job in their product development, likes of Xbox, likes of the Surface. They've produced a lot of new computers. And another big thing is, as we went to the beginning of the podcast in our interview, we spoke about the brand recognition Microsoft have. And I also, it's not just about typing in bing.com.au, it's using the whole Microsoft ecosystem to search.
Yes,
and I think
agree.
that's what's key. And that's what we need to do a better job in educating. And when I say we, us and our partners, educating clients and customers on that. So.
I agree 100%. And I think it's super important as a partner that first of all, we have to believe in the product, right? And the belief is there because we can see the data.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part. We can see it actually happening for our customers. And I think you touched on the demographics and in terms of the higher disposable income.
Yeah.
I can tell you what, that's something that's a major, so for small businesses that are trying to market, the difficulty in qualifying or trying to target a certain demographic that has a larger disposable income is super hard out there. And I tell you what, I've seen it in action with some of our clients that the quality of lead is actually at a higher level than other platforms, which is mind-blowing, because what that does, you can go down a very long journey there where you can start to allocate sort of more funds to really fish for these better quality customers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's a problem a lot of small businesses have. And you know, the Microsoft network is definitely a tool or a solution for that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, we have a stat that there's also searches on Microsoft Bing are 41% more likely than other platforms to have a higher purchasing power.
Yeah.
So we definitely, and this is data through one of our third parties. So it's, you know, it's not our own. So we get someone else to validate that. But it's definitely something that we've seen. You know,
Yeah.
That's
it's great to
huge.
hear that you're seeing that with your clients as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the disappointing thing about it all is, you know, it's how quick we can get this information out to the public. That's why I'm so appreciative of you guys coming down and having this chat, because I think our listeners are going to find this information so valuable.
Yeah.
It's going to change their perspective on things, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So Microsoft advertising has two different networks. So we've touched on the search network, but there's also the audience network. Now, I just want you guys to shed some light about the audience network and why. What's so valuable about it?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's super exciting. So we've got a native display offering called the Microsoft Audience Network. So what this is effectively, it's a programmatic native display offering where you can, as an advertiser, put your ad on premium assets such as MSN, Edge, Outlook, and other third-party sites. And that's, you know, allows you to be able to reach up to 11 million unique users in Australia. So
Wow.
So I know that, like, I mean, and you guys have been good at it, challenging us on more volume. So this is a great way that we can complement the search network with greater reach. And, you know, there's a real possibility to impact also things that you guys would be familiar with around the marketing funnel. We can generate more awareness, consideration, and drive people towards, you know, ultimately more purchase.
That's awesome, Paul. So how different is this to banner ads?
Yeah, no, good question. So the way I'd suggest to think about it is that it's a programmatic native platform. So what does that mean? It means that you can programmatically buy ads that are powered by machine learning and AI technology from Microsoft. And what that does is it can really personalize the ad to the user and the placement at scale. So when we think about native, you know, there's three things really. So the ads are in feed, meaning that they seamlessly integrate with the look and feel of the site that they're displayed on. So it really should not take the user out of their flow from what they're doing. And that's, you know, it's really an integrated experience. The second thing is it's pay per performance, which, you know, as digital marketers is really important. So you only pay when you click on the ad.
Yeah.
It's an awesome model.
And the third is that users are redirected to the product or the advertiser's page. So we don't redirect to sort of third-party content or sponsored articles, which, you know, cannot be the best user experience.
That's awesome.
And I think a good thing about our audience network is it is based on a CPC model. So it's not an impression model. You don't pay per impression. You're paying for that valued lead when someone does click on the ad. So I think that's a really unique piece of our audience product.
Awesome to know. Okay. How do they actually perform? So do you have any stats around the performance of some of these campaigns?
Yeah, 100%. So firstly, the way I encourage, you know, the listeners and everyone to think about it is, if you think about the traditional marketing funnel, you know, from top down, going from awareness to consideration to purchase, Microsoft Audience Network has a potential really to move people through that funnel and accelerate that. We also might call it the path to purchase, right? So with that, we did a study last year, and what we found, so what we did was we exposed a group of people to Microsoft Audience Network ads, and there was a control group who weren't. And so what we found was that for users that were exposed to a Microsoft Audience ad, that they were 178% more likely to search for the brand, meaning there was a 178% increase in awareness due to the exposure to the audience ad. Further to that, there was a 378% increase in consideration, meaning those that were exposed to an audience ad were more likely to actually click on an ad for that brand.
Mm.
And, really finally where the rubber meets the road is that there was a 283% increase in purchase rate for those that are exposed to a Microsoft Audience ad.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
So the Microsoft company has always been sort of known for giving back.
Yeah.
And I know that there's an initiative at the moment, and it's actually called Give Back with Bing.
Yeah.
I'd love to know a little bit about that. If you can sort of shed some information about that, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So there's a couple of things. So Microsoft have a program that's called Microsoft Rewards, and what that is that you log into Microsoft system with your personal account details, and every time you search, you earn points. So you're searching on the Microsoft Search Network, you're earning points, which then accumulates against your account.
Wow.
And what you can do with those points is you might be you can buy gift vouchers, you can go shopping on our reward site, so you might be able to buy Xbox vouchers, or we do partner with some key retailers like JB Hi-Fi and things like that. And then you can also donate to a charity of choice. So as you say, Microsoft is really big with giving back to the community. So we launched Microsoft Give with Bing, which is, as we mentioned before, it's a rewards program, and think of it as like a loyalty program where we give back to the community. And, as a business, we really thought this was so important given COVID-19, and a lot of businesses were heavily impacted, not-for-profit organizations. So where you can donate your points through to the charity as, like transferred to cash kind of thing. So
Wow.
It's a really great initiative that as a business we're super proud of, and as an advertising team we're super proud of, because it's actually part of the Microsoft Search. It rewards loyalty. It's also great for retention of clients too, because once you hear about that, why wouldn't you want to search on Microsoft if you're giving back to your community?
I agree. You can just see that it's embedded within the Microsoft culture.
Yes.
The giving back part.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's very, very heartwarming, and a lot of people need to sort of know about it. I'm glad you guys are able to shed some light on that. Can I ask, how would someone be able to get involved here?
So you can sign up to
Yep.
Give with Bing if you get onto the search network. You have the functionality of signing up. It's just an enablement when you log in. So it's like a opt in, opt out kind of thing. I'll put this to you, and I'll put this to your audience. There's no reason why you wouldn't not want to. Like, if we're giving back to the community, and you're earning points for searching on Microsoft Search, and then we're able to donate, or you're able to choose a charity you want to donate that to, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Awesome.
It's very easy to do.
So it's something that they can basically, open their device.
Yep.
When they log in,
Yep.
search for it, activate it, and they go on about their day as per normal.
Normal. And the way you know that it's activated is that there's a little green love heart in the search bar right at the top right hand corner. So
well done, guys.
fuzzy
I
for me.
really love the sound of that. That's fantastic, and I'm glad we're able to shed some awareness about that. Maybe a little bit left of field here. I wanted to get both of you guys, your take about the privacy issues surrounding. There's a lot of sort of momentum and traction in the market about this privacy issues. I just want to understand sort of Microsoft's stance, because it's a very touchy or sensitive topic, and if you can sort of give some sort of information to our listeners to see where Microsoft stands on that part of privacy.
Yeah, definitely. So you're 100% right. Like, Kenan, privacy and trust are really core pillars of Microsoft, and we're really proud of our approach to it, and very committed to upholding that stance. We think it's really important for the industry, and more importantly, it's what consumers are demanding. So some context is we did a study in 2019 where what we did is we asked consumers about what they thought about privacy and trust, and what they specifically on the trust element. We saw that 85% of consumers would only consider a brand if they trusted it. So you can take that in numerous ways, but it just highlights that the importance for brands to be able to build trust, and that is ultimately is what is going to drive good results when it comes, to marketing, for example.
I'm glad to know that, because building trust with the user is probably one of the longest journeys a company needs to take to build that trust. But you can lose it in a second, right? I've seen with especially some of the larger sort of platforms out there how, the issue around privacy can really damage a business. And, Microsoft's been there for years.
Yeah.
And it's been able to build that trust with its users and with anyone that recognizes that brand. And I'm glad you said it's part of the core fundamentals of Microsoft, because you can see why the brand is where it is today. It hasn't gone and disappeared. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm really, really pleased to hear that. I'm pretty sure our listeners are going to find that information really valuable. Thank you.
Yeah. And when it comes to how we do that, and when it comes to privacy, there's a couple of really core principles as well. So firstly, we protect customer data. We don't mix personal identifiable information. So we really have a very strict process when it comes to that. Secondly, we don't export customer data either, or on-sell to third parties. It's all protected.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good. So there's these sort of shows on Netflix now where, you've got, I can't remember what their names are.
The Social Dilemma.
The Social Dilemma. And then you've got,
yeah.
and then we have some awesome sort of staff members and team members here. And they talk about these data points, and it really starts to freak people out, to be honest with you, because people aren't really aware of it, but they understand how important privacy is. Yeah. But I'm really glad that Microsoft is checking themselves in. You get what I'm saying? At the door, they understand the importance of core fundamental. We're going to address it, and we're going to make sure we follow these principles. Yeah. So you don't get swept up in this, in that world, that social dilemma world. It's scary.
And these are principles across every business organization within the Microsoft organization. So these principles apply to the advertising team, the Azure team, Xbox team, store team, Surface team, every single, team and business unit within the Microsoft business. These are the core principles that we all, really truly believe and operate through. So,
love it. That's phenomenal. Thanks for that information. Now, in terms of also see the brand Microsoft, and this is another reason why we also love it, because, global warming is also a major issue, and reducing carbon footprint in the world. I know. As a company, Microsoft has made pledges in addressing that particular issue. Is there anything you guys can share about what Microsoft is doing as a company in relations to the carbon footprint?
Yeah, so as a business, we are really, really committed to sustainability. And I'm not sure if you've seen it or read it, but we made a statement that we were going to be, completely carbon neutral by 2030 and then completely carbon negative by 2050.
Wow.
Yeah, so big commitment to sustainability and the environment. I'll speak specifically around what Microsoft Advertising is doing from a sustainability and carbon negative perspective. We ran a competition, Get to Green, for our agencies and partners, and when they participated, we planted trees in relation to their participation, which, at the time we had many staff members saying, well, where's the swag? Where's the book and where's the pen?
Yeah.
But when you're planting trees for the environment, and it's something that's really, close to Microsoft's heart, and what we're really proud of, especially with putting out that statement that we're going to be carbon, neutral by 2030, that's actually not that far away when we think about it, right?
Very true.
Putting that statement out and having this initiative where we are planting trees for participation and planting trees, in inverted commas, instead of swag or instead of a gift. We've been able to plant over 275,000 trees in a year. So big commitment. And I think that's something that a lot of us are really proud of, whether you work for Microsoft or not, because I think the environment is something that we're all becoming more educated about. and for me, I'm really proud to work for a business that is, giving back in so many ways, and one of those being the environment.
Well, we always need, leading brands of the world to really, start the initiative.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard today and what our listeners are hearing now, it's awesome to see. Phenomenal achievement, big statements, but I think Microsoft as a company has proven to back their statements up. So it's really refreshing to hear. Thank you so much for that information. Now, I've got a question. Now, I'm going to ask the question here. And if you can answer it, awesome. If you can't answer it, just say I can't answer it. It's cool. But so one of our first podcasts was about the media code, the new media code. Okay. And I know some of the giants in tech or search, or I don't know exactly how to word it, but the listeners will understand. There was a standoff from government versus the rest, or whatever it might be. Some platforms, they've made an agreement and things sort of started to progress. But I would love to know, if you can, is there a stance Microsoft had as a company in relations to that?
I'm happy to take this one. We have, and I'm happy to provide the link to our president's statement that he put out, Brad Smith. I'm happy to provide that link to you, and then you can provide.
We're going to put it
in the show notes below. And I think that will be able to help answer many questions, and you'll be able to read around what Microsoft's stance is. As Brad Smith says, we do support the government. We do support the media code. What that means for us as a business, over time that will tell. I think a great thing for Microsoft is we've always had really close partnerships with our news partners and our journalists. We do have Microsoft News. We work really closely with that team. So we are really connected with that business already, and that type of in that media. So I'll definitely provide you. There's 2 articles that were produced by Microsoft. I'll definitely provide those links to you, and then you can share with your listeners.
That'll be great to share. But it was very, very visible. Microsoft as a company, the stance was very, I would say, diplomatic, because the understanding the issues that were attached to the new media code, it's to come to some sort of agreement. I think Microsoft were sort of first off the block to be very accepting of situations to come to some sort of agreement. So that was really refreshing to see. It's such a divisive topic because you don't know sort of where you sit, because you want to support journalism. I'm Australian. I want to support Australian journalism, but you also understand the importance of having search stay authentic. So there was like, it was one of those things where you don't know really where you sit. But Microsoft as a company, I guess, you guys having that relationship with the news in any country that you are in, that predated this issue.
And I think the whole media bargaining code has just got lots of people thinking differently. Do you want to put all your eggs in, one basket or 2 baskets? There's other avenues that you can, share your business to. And I think for us as a Microsoft advertising business, it's been great for us to be very transparent with your listeners. We've had lots of interest. I need to diversify my media spend and diversify my search dollars, and how can I get a different audience, which is everything we spoke about earlier today. So I think it's it's been a good thing for the market specifically, because it's starting to get people thinking very differently and saying, hey, there is other options out there.
Such a good point.
There is other options. We don't need to continue to just think about online marketing and online advertising as 2 to 3 players in the market. There are other businesses and companies out there that will provide you and your business with leads, customers, and potentially at a better return on investment. So
I agree. And it's funny you say that. It's because as an agency, it's something that we've been trying to sort of really bring to the forefront, or educate a lot of our clients to to explain that you really require multiple options.
Yeah.
Never hedge your bets on one.
Definitely.
You know, that creates volatility, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's really good that this forced the conversation in the public.
Yeah.
And then brought about the awareness. So then all of a sudden the conversation now starts.
Yeah, exactly right.
yeah.
You know, and there's an old saying that no PR is bad PR.
Yes.
And I think for us, you know, we've been the lucky ones in this, and you know, it's great because the team is really engaged with clients. You know, sharing our value prop. It's been really good to get that message of hey, we're here and we're great out in market. So.
And very good for small business because to be
Yes.
honest, like, you know, you know, your clients, you know, you're telling this Canan, they're super busy, right? And so it's hard for them to even, you know, pick up on this. But I think because this has been such a dominant message in the market, I think, you know, small businesses have really got a taste of that, and it's helped support that education, which I think is, you know,
I
a good
agree.
thing. A more diverse media landscape in Australia can be only good for small business and consumers.
I agree. Competition is great for the consumer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And look, you know, you guys being here today and representing Microsoft is another testament to the way you guys work. The value proposition is clear, crystal clear. The way you guys operate, your ethos in general, you can just feel it's awesome. But thank you. I really wanted to say thank you for the time that you've taken out of your day. I know you guys are both really, really busy for coming in and sort of sharing some content.
It's
Very
great.
much a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Great to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.